Muncy hits a high drive, right center the wall, and it's gone. Wow. Muncy with a home run in the 8th.
So about a month ago, I made a video talking about average MLB baseball players that were able to become superstars towards the middle or the end of their career, but apparently I forgot a few players. So what we're going to do right now is we're pretty much going to make part 2 to that video, and let me tell you guys, this one is going to be just as good. So if this is your first time on the channel, make sure that you guys subscribe because we talk about baseball every single day. Also, use code Fuzzy on Seatgeek to save $20 off. So without further ado, let's start talking about some scrubs that have turned into absolute studs. The first player on this list, you guys were screaming at me in the comment section of my last video. It was the very first one that I saw. The first scrub to actual all-star is Max Muncy. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I did not know that Max Muncy was bad because I had never heard of him before 2018, before he exploded onto the scene with the Dodgers. But if we take a look at his stats from 2015, these are my notes, but 2015 to 2017, ooh, those were some years to forget for Mr. Muncy. I'm going to go ahead and roll some highlights for every single player as I'm talking about their stats, because in 2015, Max Muncy had a 206 batting average with 3 home runs in 45 games. The next year, he was even worse. He had a 186 batting average. In 2017, Max Muncy did not even play Major League Baseball, and then for whatever reason, back in 2018, he was able to participate in the Home Run Derby, and I feel like that's really where he made his name. A lot of people were saying, yo, Max Muncy, this guy can rake, and in 2018, he finished the season with a 335. He finished the season with 35 home runs and a 973 OPS. And if we fast forward to 2019, now the OPS isn't as high, but in 120 games, Max Muncy already has 31 home runs. So I can officially say that Max Muncy, he's here and he's here to stay. And if you don't believe me, just ask Mr. Madison Bumgarner.
Muncy hits this ball to deep right field. Forget about it. Muncy with a splash hit.
Moving on over to the second player, this one actually came as a surprise. He's not as good as he once was before, but if you did not know, Josh Donaldson started his career as a catcher. Yes, I'm going to go ahead and throw up some highlights right now because I had no idea, and I'm sure a lot of you guys watching right now had zero clue that Josh Donaldson once upon a time was a catcher. I think the biggest reason why is because he was one of the best third basemen in the league. He even won an MVP. But if we go to his stats before he really broke out with the Oakland Athletics, in 2010, my guy Josh Donaldson was hitting 156. The next year, 2011, he did not even play. In 2012, he kind of got a little bit better. He improved to a 241 batting average with 9 home runs in 75 games. And then in 2013, his first breakout season with the Oakland Athletics. I remember when I was young, I was looking at this guy playing saying, like, this dude's going to be legit. He was really good. Back in 2013, he had a 301 batting average with 24 bombs, 93 RBIs. And then, of course, we know what happened next. He was traded to the Toronto Blue Jays, in which he won the MVP in 2015, where he hit a whopping 41 home runs, 123 RBIs. That doesn't sound like a lot right now, considering Mike Trout, Christian Yelich, and Pete Alonso and all these guys have 40 home runs. But back then, when the baseballs weren't juiced, that was a lot of home runs. So Josh Donaldson went from failed catching prospect to still being a pretty productive baseball player for the Atlanta Braves. So yeah, Josh Donaldson, he makes the list.
Line drive deep toward the Braves bullpen. At the track, at the wall, it's gone.
I would say that Max Muncy and our next player, Justin Turner, were the two names that were brought up most in the comment section of my last video, because these guys, they pretty much had the same start to their career. They were not good. I was going to say trash, I don't want to be mean, but to say it lightly, they were not very good. We're going to have to take some time for Justin Turner because, wow, there was, okay, all right. So from 2009 to 2010, Justin Turner could not find a starting spot. From 2011 to 2013, he averaged playing in 99 games, and in those 99 games, he was able to average a 267 BA with 3 home runs and 29 RBIs. If you hear me saying BA, that just means batting average, but when he was with the Mets, it wasn't good. Then all of a sudden in 2014, things started to change. As we can tell by his batting average, he hit 340 but only had 7 home runs, so he was starting to hit the ball well, but the power wasn't there. And then we come to the final season in which we all know Justin Turner to be. He's an absolute hitting magician. Back in 2016, he had 27 home runs and 90 RBIs. From 17 to 18, he averaged a 318 batting average with a 935 OPS. He hasn't been as good, just like Josh Donaldson in 2019, but you know what? They're raking, They're all really good. They went from baseball obscurity, no one wanted them, to being one of the better infielders in baseball. I'm talking about Max Muncy and Justin Turner. And the fact that they're on the same team, I'm thinking there's something going on with the Dodgers. They know how to develop players, so I got to tip my cap off to them. If you're a Dodgers fan, be lucky. You have a good staff. Now we're going to talk about a player that I am very, very familiar with. I actually saw one of his first starts in Major League Baseball. Corey Kluber, I think it was actually Steven Strasburg's first, was it his first season? I don't know, but I know it was Corey Kluber versus Steven Strasburg. I was on the front row right behind the Indians dugout, my very first time seeing him pitch. And I'm looking at Corey Kluber throwing 95, 96, painting. He beat Steven Strasburg, and I thought to myself, who is this? Who is this guy? I've never heard of him before. Little did I know I was watching a future two-time Cy Young Award winner, but at that time, and a few years prior to that, Corey Kluber was very average. In 3 games back in 2011, his first taste at Major League Baseball, he had a whopping 8.31 ERA, so we know that he was not ready. The following year, he had a 2-5 record with a 5.14 ERA. Again, not that great, but in 2013, he kind of started to right the ship with an 11-5 win-loss record and a 3.85 ERA, which is kind of reminding me of Shane Bieber in 2018 and how he's really stepped it up in 2019. He went from like a 4 ERA almost down to a sub-3, and that's exactly what happened with Corey Kluber. He went from a 3.85 to winning 2 Cy Youngs. Since 2014, Corey Kluber has gone 83-45 with a 2.85 ERA, 100 strikeouts, and again, I've said it a couple times already, he's a 2-time Cy Young Award winner. Injuries and attrition and age, everything like that has caught up to him in 2019, but I hope that he can come back healthy, because if he can, having Kluber, Clevenger, Bieber, hopefully Carrasco can come back healthy with Aaron Savali and Zach Plesac, the Indians, they just know how to develop pitchers. It's like the Dodgers are the best at developing position players, and the Indians are really good at pitchers. It's crazy. I'm going to go ahead and throw a player out that you guys are probably going to think, he's not that great, but Eduardo Escobar in 2019 is showing the world that this guy has some gas left in the tank, because he is a little bit older, but now that he's with the Diamondbacks, he's raking. Oh my, his stats are not very good. Back in 2012, Eduardo Escobar might have been the worst player in all of baseball. He played a good amount of games and managed to hit 214 with the 537 OPS. That is awful. From 2013 to 2018, 6 seasons in Major League Baseball, he averaged playing in 118 games, and he only averaged 12 home runs, 50 RBIs, and a 259 batting average. So again, very average, but this year in 2019, he's already surpassed 100 RBIs. He's going to hit 30 plus home runs. This guy has cemented himself as one of the best switch hitters in baseball. I love watching him play, so I wanted to give him a quick shout out. He's not the best player on this list by any means, but he's definitely turning into a star. Did you guys know that Brad Hand of the Cleveland Indians, formerly with the San Diego Padres, do you know that he used to be a starting pitcher, just like Andrew Miller and just like a few other guys in baseball that are really dominant at relieving games? Once upon a time, they were horrible at starting games. Oh god, this is okay. So in one start back in 2012, he had a 17 ERA, so he was not very good in that start, followed by a 4.39 campaign, a 5.3 ERA campaign. It's not very good. But then we see in 2016, his first really shot at becoming a relief pitcher for the San Diego Padres. He was absolutely dominant. If we take a look at his ERA, he had a 2.92 ERA, and he also led the league in games pitched at 82. That's a lot of innings. The San Diego Padres traded him to the Cleveland Indians in exchange for Francisco Mejia. Mejia has been playing well in the second half for the Padres, but Brad Hand has been an absolute stud. He's been a madman for the Cleveland Indians with his stats. Check this out. From 2017 to 2019, he's been really good. He's collected 82 saves, and he's averaged a 2.59 ERA in the last 3 seasons. So yeah, Brad Hand from a 17.5 ERA to a less than 3. I would say he is pretty good. We have 3 players next on the list. I'm wondering if you guys can guess, but the first one, if you guys don't remember, Lorenzo Cain actually started his career with the Brewers. I know he's with the Brewers now, but he was mainly known as a Kansas City Royal. He was not very good at hitting, and when I say not very good, I'm being nice. He was actually very bad at hitting. He was fast. He had a really good glove. That was about it. His first 4 seasons in baseball, I need you guys to brace for this if you are a Lorenzo Cain fan. Again, I'm not hating, but he averaged playing in 56 games. He barely hit 260 and had a 700 OPS. The league average for OPS is about 750 to 760, so he was 60 to 50 points below average. That's not going to cut it. But then in 2015, he was an MVP candidate for the Kansas City Royals. He had a 307 batting average with 101 runs, 16 home runs, 72 RBIs, 28 stolen bases, and a 2.3 defensive WAR. That 2.3 defensive WAR is insane when you're talking about a guy that could steal you almost 30 bags and almost hit you 20 home runs. That's ridiculous. He was one of the best players in baseball back in 2015. In 2018, he was amazing with the Brewers. This year in 2019 hasn't been as good with the stick, but defensively, he is still one of the better outfielders in all baseball. You guys better not say anything to disagree with that, because Lorenzo Cain is still one of the best. I'll prove it right now. Look.
Zone with that right now as Turner hits one in the air, left center field, and Lorenzo Cain at the wall.
I would say the top closers in baseball for 2019 have been Felipe Vasquez, Aroldis Chapman, and then we have Kirby Yates. This guy has been absolutely lights out, and it wasn't always like that. I'm going to go ahead and read off his 2019 stats so I can really put into perspective how bad he used to be. In 2019, he is leading baseball with a 1.08 ERA, and he's also leading all baseball with 35 saves. So he's come a long way since his first 4 seasons, where his highest ERA was 7.97 and his lowest was a 4 ERA. So he was a 4 ERA to pretty much an 8 ERA guy. And I already read off his 2019 stats, but in 2018, that's when he really became a star. That season, he had a 2.14 ERA and a 12.9 strikeouts per 9. Kirby Yates, I hope that he sticks around. Maybe he gets traded to an actual contender, because this guy, he's nasty. Guys, the last player on today's list, I need you guys to let me know in the comment section down below, because we're going to do a little bit of foreshadowing and we're going to try and predict the career of Yoan Moncada, because he's been garbage. I know that he had 17 home runs and 60 RBIs last year in 2018. He was not good, but in 2019, he has a 300 batting average, almost a 900 OPS. He can steal you 20 bags if he wants to. He's injured currently, but I want you guys to let me know. Do you think that Yoan Moncada is the next Max Muncy, Justin Turner? Is he going to turn a corner and become one of the better players in all baseball? I personally think that he has the best left-handed swing. Him and Robinson Cano, and there's just so many players that have a really nice swing. But let me know in the comment section down below. Is Yoan Moncada going to be a star? I think that he is going to be, so I wanted to include him. But thank you all so much for watching. If you agree or disagree with any of my picks, let me know in the comment section down below. Or if I forgot anyone, also let me know. If you guys watched all the way until the end, you guys are the absolute best. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.